Hey, Soul Warriors, ever feel like you're on a solo adventure on your spiritual awakening journey? Join us today as we dive deep into the why behind flying solo. Just real talk about finding your own rhythm, embracing solitude, and discovering the magic that happens when you're your own spiritual companion. All right, are you ready to explore the power of a solo quest? Let's hit the road together because you are never truly alone.
No, you are not. I know that for me, being around the unseen since I was a kid, I never ever felt alone. There was always some excitement going on. So, yeah, it was awesome.
I know when I was younger, I could see and hear them as well. So it was really, fun. And I had all sorts of, as adults called imaginary friends that I enjoyed on a daily basis until life started piling on and that veil gets a little thicker. And now I've worked my way back to it. So I
Yeah.
know you can too. So before we jump totally in, let's look at the difference between alone and lonely.
Yes.
It's a big
Yes.
difference. You need to understand that. Lonely is where you're walking more in your human, looking at the external, everything that's going on around you type of self. So you're caught up more in survival mode. This is where we want to shift into I am in my soul self. I'm feeling centered. I'm feeling brilliant. I'm seeing and feeling everything around me. And then you don't ever truly feel lonely like we led with.
Right, right. Absolutely. When we're on the spiritual path, it's very different. Wanting to be alone, to be able to diffuse, if you will, a lot of the noise that goes on around you is very different than feeling lonely. Lonely is a want, is a feeling, is a desire. It's something you're looking for, something more physical, like you
More
said.
tangible.
Yeah. So, but when you're deliberately going out there and just being by yourself, with your thoughts, with your feelings, with the parts of you that need to heal, that's you tapping in and really honoring where you are in life.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
know when I started my spiritual, like the stages of awakening that I was going through, I started to feel really alone. Friends fell off, jobs went away, and I was like, what's
Yeah.
going on? Why am I going into this deeper place and everything is crumbling? And it's because I wasn't focused as much on the outer anymore. I started to get more into me and believing the fact that I am a creator. So being alone, it led me more space and more time to really go inside myself and find the places where I was maybe creating
Right.
stuff I didn't want.
Right. And the thing with that also is that when things start to fall away, don't get into this, oh my God, I need to grab it back. I need to
Right.
Don't get into that, because it's falling away for a reason. And it's giving you the opportunity for a different path, the ability to be able to, you know, go towards that thing that's unfolding for you. So don't get into this, you know, detach, if you will, from everything that's about to happen.
Exactly. You'll know what's for you. And
Yeah.
because you'll know if you're that reaching feeling or that
Yeah.
like, oh my God, what's going to happen if that goes away or that person leaves?
I mean, because we're so attached to things,
We are
and
overly.
and a lot of the times it's to our detriment. Some things we need to let go of. Period.
And we know deep
And
in our
it's
soul that
okay.
it's yeah, you need to
Exactly.
let go of it.
Like if you're in a toxic relationship or anything like that, that kills your system, kills your soul, it kills all parts of you. So you want to let go of that so that you can honor the parts of you that are powerful, that are giving you the nourishment that you need to be able to walk this path.
Right. If you find you're getting those soul nudges, but then you continue to say, walk into a relationship, back into one where you know that you don't belong anymore, and you know that it always cycles into something that is not good for your soul, that's shutting down that soul connection. And then once you finally get to that like crushed place because you've gone through the cycle and you're like, oh, and you just kind of give up and maybe start meditating or doing something. And then you're like, they're not telling me what to do. They're not talking to me. I'm not hearing my soul anymore. Well, that's because you had gone so far away from it and you knew deep down what you should be doing and what felt good from a soul place. But ignoring that continuously, spirit and your soul is kind of like, okay, we're going to back off over here until they're fully back into their soul self and fully ready to receive all this information. Because we're not going to continue to just beat the same drum over and over again. And they're going to be like, I know, and then complete the cycle again. This is a space where, if using love as an example, you're looking at, why am I pulling in that type of person? Why am I attracted to that type of relationship? What in me needs to feel healed and loved and seen and respected and fed, that I'm trying to get fed from this cycle that's not feeding me, or I wouldn't keep falling out of it.
Right, right. I mean, if you entertain the thought of being alone, is the time for you to look within, to be able to be mindful of your thoughts, to be mindful of how you're feeling. It's like a doorway, if you will, so that you can receive the things that you need to know about and integrate into your life as you're experiencing that awakening. So that's important, that if you look at it in the form of, it's okay that I'm alone because I'm choosing to be alone right now, not because I'm lonely.
Right. Another thing that I'll pull again from my own experience of spiritual awakening is the deeper that I got into it and the more committed I got to my spirituality, again, the more alone I felt. But it felt like my energy was speeding up, like my vibration was higher. So it was vibrating at a higher frequency than what my old life was. So as I was having those things fall away, I was feeling like I was on an elevator. At the beginning, I would, I'm on floor 1, going into my spirituality. I just discovered this, pressing the button, going up to 2, getting off, living there for a few years or longer, finding another layer or level of myself and my spirituality, getting back on, going up a floor. As my vibration started to speed up, and as the vibration of the world right now is speeding up, you're like getting on the elevator and it's just going whoosh, and you're like watching the floors go by and go by and go by as you get up. There's no time to get off on some of them. So you're not gathering new people, and you're not gathering a lot, the new jobs or anything like that. You're not gathering as much because you're spending more time anchoring into your soul and leading from that place.
Yeah, or it can also be that if the elevator is going up quickly, not stopping at any floors, you've just attached yourself to a very third dimensional space. You're listening to the noise, you're listening to the influences, you're going into all these things, so you're missing the parts of the elevation of the vibration because you're so attached to the very third dimensional things. It can work both ways. I mean, that's how it worked for you.
Right.
It can also work in that other place. There isn't one real path or way, if
Right.
you will.
It's unique for everyone.
It's unique for everyone. So I want to give you possible scenarios that might happen for you.
Yeah. So check in as you're going up. I mean, again, I checked in with my soul, meditated on it, and just became really aware of it, surrendering to it and watching what was happening. And that's a perfect thing to see if you're getting attached to, I'm just wanting to run away from this, or I'm just sick of this, so I'm going to try to jet up to the penthouse.
Exactly. And if you do something like that, understand that there's going to be a moment where that elevator is going to shoot you right back down.
Mm-hmm.
Because you haven't accumulated the experiences and the tools to be able to manage a very high vibration
Or maintain it.
So you're going to come crashing down emotionally, sometimes physically. It really truly depends on you. So be aware of that as well. We want things like yesterday, man. I get it. But if we do too much too quickly and get to the top, then we're like, now what? What do I do?
Right.
Why am I feeling this way? Why is this happening? Because you didn't take the time or the steps that you needed to accumulate the right experiences.
Right. We see a lot of people want to rush it just to get to that elevated, almost egoic, feeling self-important type of space. If you don't understand all the stages of spiritual awakening, we'll link the video above that we did on it, because it might be helpful to check it out. Yeah. Because there is no endpoint. You don't get to number 5 and you're like, yay, I'm, guru of the year and everything is love and light and bliss.
Always learning, always changing, always shifting.
Right. And it's just like being on an airplane where you might, you have really smooth flight and then you hit a pocket and you might have a little dip or you might have a lot of turbulence. It totally depends again on your path. But feel safe in your body, because you are safe going into any of this spiritual stuff as long as you're doing it with pure heart and pure intention to really understand yourself and your essence more and more.
I mean, there is a sense, there is a physical sense. I know that for me, when I started into all this, there was a physical sense. I felt a shift, an energetic shift within me that kind of said, okay, we're about to embark in something that you're not familiar with, but stick with it, and trust what you're feeling, and trust what the messages that you're getting. That those are very important. You can't question that. I mean, you can if you want to, but you shouldn't, because there truly are the answers within you. That's one of the reasons why being alone is so important, because you're able to distinguish what is yours and what is not. And that is very, very helpful.
Right. And you might find yourself like looking outside of yourself, like, how did your spiritual journey work? What's going on with you? And that's awesome to listen and maybe share and understand to help elevate each other's journey. But again, don't do the comparison game where you're like, oh, I want that experience, not what I have, so I'm going to try doing what they're doing. You're doing what's good for you, what feels best for you. This is your journey. And that's a lot of times why you're pocketed into aloneness. And you're like, why spirit? Why am I alone? Why universe? Because maybe you're missing and craving that going out. Go out, call a friend and have a lunch or a dinner or something. Do whatever you need to do. Understand that if it doesn't work, it might be because, say, the friend that you're having dinner with, you're not on the same vibration anymore, because you've been doing all this work and maybe they haven't. So maybe you're kind of getting crickets when you're talking about something and you're like, oh, okay. Or you're like, I should just go out because I've been alone so much, and everybody's telling me that they don't see me anymore, and you get all the family or friend pressure. You'll go out and then you'll be like, oh, hell no. I'm going back in my house. It is way too peoply out there. And so there's no failure. You can test these things out, and this is like, yep, this works for me. Nope, that didn't. Just because that didn't work last time, it's been a few months. I'm going to try it again. And you just test the waters. There's no failure here. There's no success here. There's just you continually tapping more and more into who you are.
Yeah. I mean, when you're tapped in and really going through the process of awakening or your spiritual journey, like you said earlier, things will fall away. There are things that you love, that you're attached to, that will say, okay, that's not the right vibration, and they or the thing will go away, and that's okay. I want to impress upon you how okay that is, because now it's giving you the opportunity to really get to know the vibration within you, what really matters to you, what your core essence and values are. That's what the alone part brings to the table. It gives you a better understanding of who you are, what makes you tick, and what are the things that you truly want, not the things that you're told you should have, but are the things that you want and that you truly need and desire in your life. I love being alone for those reasons, because I get to learn so much about myself that when I do go out into the world and I see it being too peoply, I kind of like go, okay, now I understand why I've taken this time, so that whatever happens out there doesn't disturb my frequency.
And you'll also find yourself being led into this alone place, or it can feel forced into this alone place. If you've set intentions and you know what you want to walk towards, you know what's working for you, what's not, and you're not taking action on it. I mean, I know for myself, once, this was probably 10 years back, I was in a job. I knew it didn't fit me anymore. It didn't serve me. I had outgrown it, and I did not belong there anymore. But I didn't feel like looking for a new job, and all the things that you put upon, like delaying things and procrastinating. And then one of my best friends from work suddenly gets really sick, has to leave work, can't come back, and work's not the same anymore. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I was attached to the hanging out with my friend at work type of thing while we were working together. this really doesn't serve me. There's like nothing left here for me to be able to attach on to keep procrastinating. And I finally moved. And then she miraculously got better a few months later and was able to go back. But it was good. It like helped move me out of that place. So sometimes they'll take some things away. The universe move things out of your way so that you can fulfill what you know is right for you deep down. You're just maybe not doing it. It's giving you that nudge, that nudge, that nudge, then that push, and then that big stick if you don't listen.
Yeah, for sure. That kick. Get out there, man.
Yeah. So you can make it as easy or as hard as you want it to be. You can embrace a loneliness, or you can like sing the song of loneliness constantly and woe is you. Totally your choice on what vibration and how easy and gracefully you want to walk through things.
Right. I mean, you're probably thinking, how do I know being alone versus being lonely? The way you can tell, at least for me, again, there's different feeling, there's a different vibration that runs through me when I'm consciously, deliberately being alone versus yearning for something because I feel lonely. That's the yearning part is your indication that you're looking for something outside of yourself.
Right.
And because being alone is all about being with yourself. So that's how you know.
Yeah. So do you truly enjoy your own company and you're happy being alone? Then you'll get oh, maybe I'm feeling lonely right now. And it's like, most of the time for me, it's like, no, you're just bored. You need to do something. You're doing all your spiritual things. You're doing your work. You're doing all your soul intention stuff. Yeah. You need to shake it up a little. You need to do a little something different. It's not necessarily that I'm lonely. It's just that I need to move on something, or I need to give myself some sort of stimulation outside of what I'm currently experiencing.
You hit the nail right on the head. Like for me, I'm always bored. Always, all the time. Or at least that's what my brain tells me.
Yeah.
So then I do something different. I mean, it doesn't have to be anything big, just a slight difference in what I eat or what I do or what I say or anything like that.
Yeah.
And then it switches it up really quickly because I find that I'm in that vibration a lot. But that's because my brain's always going.
Right. Yeah, we're working.
Or not. One or
not.
The other.
Yeah, we're completely shut down. Mine is always going. And we're working on an exercise right now, actually, with clients, where for 22 days you do something special for yourself every single day. So that's a challenge if you don't usually take care of yourself or do something special. I realized yesterday that I didn't do anything. And when I looked at the clock, it was 5 after midnight. And I was like, oh, yeah. I didn't do anything. Okay, I'm not going to beat myself up, but hey. And then I started going through the day and I'm like, does doing my laundry count? Like,
I'm like, no.
I'm trying to bargain like my way into that I still did it, instead of just being like, okay, you failed today. Who cares? You have tomorrow. Like, do 2 things for yourself tomorrow. That'll be awesome.
Don't beat up on yourself.
No.
I mean, it's okay. It's okay. We're human. It's gonna happen. That's okay.
Yeah. I was just kind of a little disappointed. Like, I have a thing tagged up next to my laptop, and
but that's the overachiever
I knew it
in you.
Totally.
That is the overachiever in you.
So you catch that with yourself. That's how you know yourself, and you know your actions, and you're like, okay, no, this is what I'm gonna do. But from this exercise, my point of all that, besides challenging you to do that if you haven't, is that when I do something extra special for myself, and I'm not like planning, oh, I can do this on Tuesday, I can do this on Wednesday. I'm like in the moment, like, this would make me happy, this would feel good, and I do it. And then my whole day is different. And then like you said, it takes a little tiny thing, any boredom, any loneliness, all that just goes away, because I'm so pleased with being with myself and thankful and grateful for myself and feeling filled with myself. That aloneness is just like, yeah, I love this.
Yeah. Being in gratitude is a good tool.
Absolutely an awesome tool. So really take a look at yourself if you're like more in the alone place, more in the lonely place, how you're navigating that. Cut yourself some slack and really learn to embrace, like, alone can be fun. Alone can like shoot me ahead, like way ahead into my intentions where I truly want to be. Alone can get rid of all this stuff that no longer serves me that I hold on to. Alone can help me step into my full power instead of me baby stepping my way into it while I'm trying to deal in survival mode. Alone is powerful.
But don't think that you have to do this alone. You take those pauses, those moments to be alone so that you can go within. But if you need somebody to, kind of have a conversation, being around like-minded people helps a lot too.
Absolutely.
So that you can just talk it through. In my meditation, this is what came up. And just get that dialogue going. So give us a holla.
It gets fun. Yeah. So like, comment, subscribe to the channel so that you can get more. And yes, you can be alone in a crowded room and perfectly happy and centered with
Absolutely.
yourself without having it depend on anything else that's around you. All right.
All right. Be kind.
Peace.
Peace.